Well, that opening didn't go as I planned. I have no idea why sometimes it just seems to be on crack, but we are in the lobby already. Jack, you're with me?
I am with you. I'm with
Yeah.
you right now, right here, directly after unmuting my microphone. Here I am.
Awesome, mate. So we have a game between Daisy and GoOdy, and this is going to be the first semi-final for tonight. Semi-finals are one of my favorite games because often in semi-finals the greatest players just meet in tournaments. Didn't you notice that semi-finals tend sometimes to be even more entertaining than the finals themselves?
Yeah, it definitely turns out that way a lot of the times. Because it's with a single elimination format, I mean, it gets narrowed down and better players get up. But I mean,
Yeah.
you never know when you're going to be knocked out. Like someone in the first round can get knocked out by the person who eventually wins the tournament. So, yeah, in the semifinals, sometimes we can get some really awesome games.
Right, so what I wanted to say is kind of advertise what we'll be doing after the Heart of the Swarm launch is we plan to start a more elite league of our own, where you will be one of 16 players. Well, not you and not me, because we suck at Starcraft, but the guys that don't suck, we will invite around 16 players to play out through the whole month duration in a league format for around, let's say, $1,000 prize pool. And that way we won't get a very fast one-shot tournament like this one. We will get something that lasts the whole month, and we even think about doing something like medals when you win. So that should be entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited for that. And it is ESC Daisy. Oh, that is so exciting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, it is Daisy. Daisy, one of the coolest players out there. Well, he will be showing us what is his version of playing Protosses in Heart of the Swarm. And on the other side of the map, spawning, of course, as the purple Terran, he is ESC GoOdy. Which, well, will he be too good for Daisy, or will he be just good enough, or maybe not good enough? We will see that there is a lot of things you can do with GoOdy's nickname.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, those are the options. You could be good or ungood. You could be double plus ungood. Also, that's very, very ungood. If you get double plus ungood, you have to watch out for that particular one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was really excited to find that it was ESC Daisy. I saw that it was Daisy in the brackets. I was like, oh, I really hope it's ESC Daisy, and it is.
Yes,
so another
it
team
is.
match, another team kill here.
Yeah, also someone says, oh no, GoOdy, 1 hour long game incoming, guys. Yeah, that may happen. But we'll see. I mean, in Heart of the Swarm, playing mech, playing defensively is not what it used to. So I just see this huge tendency of Heart of the Swarm matches being a lot shorter than Wings of Liberty. Of course, there needs to be a balance, so the game cannot end after 5 minutes as a general rule of thumb. But you know, they sometimes do, and that's cool. And sometimes they go into a macro mode, which is awesome. But there's a much better balance between these two options than it has been in Wings of Liberty. I just got the feeling that in Wings of Liberty we got to a stage where every single game, by definition, is going to be macro, and very rarely something else happened.
Yeah, so we've got some replay coming on in from ESC GoOdy.
I was so wise in saying that you just couldn't think of a comment.
It blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't even
now
know
I
what to
realize I have been wrong for the past 5 years.
Yeah, so you think another proxy star? Yes, it is another proxy Stargate. So.
And this location is actually extra sweet, with a sugar on top, because not too many Terran players scout this location. They may scout here, they may scout somewhere at the top, but not really in this spot.
Yeah, and it's really, really close air distances as it is. Never mind adding in the proxy, so it's gonna be really strong. Probably some Oracle play. Most likely, that's what I think.
Most likely. Now the question I have in the back of my head is, will
Oh my god, he's gonna scout it.
Oh
my
no.
god, he's gonna scout it. I think he's still gonna get the.
What you gonna do when we come for you? Now, Reapers no longer have grenades, so he will not be able to blow up the pylon, terrorist
so
style. Yeah, but on the other hand, he will be able to go back to his base and tell all of these Marines, hey guys, yeah, you may be watching the skies for the next 5 minutes because there is probably something on its way, if you catch my drift. And the first Oracle is on its way. Will Daisy get overzealous with it? It may so happen. He doesn't want to lose that right now. He wants to keep it for further harassment. Now, question I have, will he go for a Void Ray follow-up? Because the way Wytra plays out this style is Wytra in most cases just goes for 2 Oracles and then follow up with Void Rays, which I'm not so sure that I agree with, but Void Rays are also kind of different in Heart of the Swarm. And Daisy goes for the attack. Yeah, not so, no.
That was not gonna work at
all. Most definitely no.
Running anything into a pack of Marines pretty much doesn't work. You see a pack of Marines, generally the response is to run. He's gonna catch a scout though, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna have to wait for. He's gonna have to actually burn 25 energy to kill this scout, but
yeah,
he's not gonna do
it. I
He's
would
gonna use
even
the
say
instead.
that you have much better odds if you walk up to a very nice chick that you don't know on the street and say, "Hey, sweetie, would you like to go for on a date with me?" Then that is even more likely to work than what just Daisy did.
Yeah, I would say if you did that, yes, more likely for that to work out than the Oracle running into a pack
Not
of
the
Marines.
best comparison, I understand.
No, I was just thinking, I mean, you may be pushing it a little bit far. I mean, that's one of the smallest success rate encounters known to human beings. I mean, is it really, are Marines that strong? I was trying to consider it, and then after a time period where I did consider, I realized, yes, they are that strong, and the analogy is appropriate. But, you know, I was just thinking about the ambiguous Reaper Scout who comes. He's like the least helpful scout ever, because he comes through and he's like, yeah, mate, guys, there's some things.
Mate, I think we are slightly overthinking it right now. We need to quickly change our topic. Abandon the ship. Let's talk about the siege tank. I mean, you know, siege tanks so powerful nowadays because they have siege tech right away, right off the bat. You don't need to research that. Again, one of the best changes in Heart of the Swarm. It just speeds the game up.
Yeah, and we're going for third bases for both players. Daisy way ahead on the third base though, so that's going to be a lot of added economy advantage for Daisy.
Yeah, and a drop on its way. Medivac being filled to the brim with Marines, and they are all thinking, oh, I hope we're going to that planet when there are blue aliens and they have like 3 meters of height and the chicks are so nice and they all walk naked, and they will drop into the Protoss base and they will realize, oh my god, it's not the planet from Avatar.
It's not the planet from Avatar at all.
Yeah. How was that planet
There's no giant
called?
Tree to knock down.
Yeah.
I only saw it one time, so I don't know what the planet was called. We could call it North America, as it was a reenactment of Pocahontas. We could just call it North America if we wanted to.
Yeah, you're exactly right with that. Spot on, my mate.
Yeah, GoOdy's gonna turn around and say, "No, we will not land in North America. It's not time yet."
Yeah. So, anyway, this is not the repeat of Pocahontas. Neither it is a repeat of Avatar nor any other famous stories. This is ESC Daisy versus GoOdy, and they have tried each other, so they have tried to find loopholes in each other's defense, but they haven't managed to find any. And GoOdy, being extra patient with backing up that drop, some players would just go for it and try, you know, what sort of damage am I able to deal with this. Now the difference is that if you are able to stop yourself from trying when you see that you're going to lose, you eventually have much higher unit count in the game than people who are just overzealous.
Yep, it's one of the less flashy skills that you can have as a pro gamer. People like to talk about, oh, APM and control, but the ability to have reserve and to not attack and to pull back at the proper times is a really critical skill for a gamer, and you can see both of them are respecting each other's play and waiting for the opportune moment to strike.
Although what I think is missing, if we are talking about Starcraft 2 philosophy, I think what is missing from Starcraft 2 in general is something that was very present in Brood War, while there was just a couple of more levels on which you could be good at that game. So in Brood War, you could be extremely good at production and you would just outproduce everyone else. In StarCraft 2, I'm not saying they should make the production more difficult, I'm just saying they could add some new innovative element to the game that could allow you to be a better player. And in Brood War, some players were so good at producing units that they always had bigger armies. Others were so good at multitasking that they were always around the map, and even with bigger armies, people have a hard time dealing with that. But anyway, none of that matters right now, since we have a group of Hellions that try to do a run-by, but ESC Daisy being prepared so well.
Yeah, really nice spotter pilot out far, so Daisy could react in time. I think that one of the things that StarCraft 2 has in that sort of philosophy vein is creep spread. I really think that people are just beginning to start to utilize that, and it's like one of those things that I don't think anyone will ever have perfect creep spread. I think it's impossible.
Oh, it is so difficult. And now with the change to the creep tumors, the way they work, I think you were the one who told me that players are having hard time being more effective at creep spreading, because there is a slight delay where new creep tumors appear. If you use the old ones, you cannot just control click to select the new ones you created and add them to a control group. You have to wait a couple of seconds.
Yeah, so when you're spreading creep, you can't use the control route method to do that anymore. So I don't know how many players were using that in Wings of Liberty, but any of them who were now have had to switch over to a different method.
But anyway, enough about dessert. Now let's. Now this game is so heavy on macro right now, and I think GoOdy again trying to utilize the Hellbat drop. Now with Hellbats taking up 4 spaces, yes, their ass is so fat. It will no longer be that effective. This has been a killer strategy in beta for a while now, and it has worked against every single race, even against other Terrans, and now it has been nerfed with the fact that Hellbats just have much broader butts.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the Hellbat's a funny thing. You know, when it transforms, all kinds of strange things happen to it.
Yeah,
it becomes biological.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Just like they become bigger, even though they just change their formation. You know.
At one day you will have a dance animation on a siege tank, and as soon as siege tank starts dancing, the medivac will start healing. Can you imagine that sick micro? Just letting the mouse go in a battle? Yeah, and then slash dance, slash dance, slash dance. So the medivacs can heal siege tanks in a battle. Oh. This is the new level of StarCraft.
Legacy of the Void. Functional dance mechanics.
Yeah.
Coming soon to a Legacy of the Void near you.
well.
Really immortal heavy is Daisy. How many? That's a lot of immortals. We have this immortal, zealot, archon kind of a style. And sticking to it pretty heavily here.
Yeah, there is a drop here, but it's not going to do a lot, although it does more than it should. 10 workers killed totally. Not too much. This game pretty stable. You know what I would like to see being utilized even more is, oh, by the way, we have Tempest on the map, which
we do.
Yay! I love Tempest, and I think that right now people don't have them figured out because it's such a late game unit. And the way that RTSs usually evolve is people learn how to use the tier 1 units first, and then they kinda, you know, move towards the end game units and then find out, oh my god, it's so fun to annoy them. By the way, there was this one Marine having a smoke around the corner of this building, and see guys, this is a proof. You should not be smoking, kids. It's a bad habit, even worse than eating ice cream. Although equally as hard to counter. Alright, so what do we have? A lot of scouting. I would like to see the players utilizing harassment more. They are trying, of course, right now, but it seems that beta is right now at the stage where you don't have it figured. What is the perfect way to harass the opponent? For example, right now, I think that if Daisy, for example, would use more oracles, that would have paid back so much. But then GoOdy has built so many turrets. So, okay, backtrack what I said.
We are going to have even more gateways. This is going to be going up to 25 gateways. Daisy will have 25 gateways now. It's just so interesting. We haven't seen a Colossus this entire time. And believe it or not, the Robo Bay comes down, and it's there to get upgrades for the Warp Prism and the Observer, and not for Colossus. This is really cool. I love to see non-Colossus play, because for so long in Wings of Liberty it was just you have to get a Colossus no matter what. You almost always build a Colossus in every matchup, but finally we have some Colossus-less play, and I'm very excited to see how it goes here.
And even carriers on the way. Oh, this is an overkill. I mean, carriers, you know, at certain point they were considering removing them from the game altogether, but in Heart of the Swarm they have been just getting more attention. I think one of the major changes is that a carrier starts with 4 interceptors, and that makes this huge, beefy, very costly and slow unit not useless right from the start.
Right.
It has been so frustrating to pay so much for the carrier, and then someone dropped you, and and you were not able to defend it with the carrier because it didn't have any interceptors. And 2 Hellbats in the Protoss's main, also a little bit of shenanigans around the map. You know, we have GoOdy sending out his workers. He has, a very nice pick of the Medivac, and these Hellbats are just going for a 1 pylon. Not too much they can do right now. And Daisy preparing himself for an end game battle that's about to happen, guys. Are you excited?
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna try to. Oh, he already denied the sports with a Dark Templar. I didn't even notice him have a DT shrine up. We're gonna this turret's gonna zone out the Oracle, and where's the army? Where's the army from GoOdy? It's hanging out. It looks like he's just gonna sacrifice this 4th base, or 5th base, as it were. And no, Daisy's not gonna kill it.
Why?
Daisy
Why?
Well, it looks like the army of GoOdy is moving out, getting ready.
Oh, but is it enough though? A lot of immortals, but not enough for such a huge force, even though GoOdy kinda struggles. A lot of units in the background not dealing any damage at all. Tempest, were there enough for the Vikings? It seems they were. But then we will have a couple of Thors that will roll out and try to destroy the force of the Protoss. Will they?
Oh yeah, it looks like all these Tempests are going to be more very shortly. A couple of DTs get warped in, Desperation Templars trying to make something happen here. And the carriers, the flank with the carriers from the bottom, they're going to actually finish this army.
Wow, I'm not sure that he had it planned, but though, even though execution of it was perfect, and the carriers proving so much useful right now, and saying, hey, we're back, and we're out, we are here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and guess what, they stopped producing bubblegum 400 years ago.
Yeah, and the other issue with carriers chewing bubblegum, they don't have mouths. How are they gonna chew? How are they even gonna do that? You know, it's very difficult. But they want it so bad. Carriers, no gum chewers. How do they pull it off? One of the main mysteries of life that we may never be able to answer.
if that is the sort of question people have in the future, I'm not sure I want to live there anymore. No. We have just met aliens. Do they wear Nike shoes? Do they chew bubblegum? Do they watch Lost on TV? Oh. You know, it's...
I hope so.
It's not the brave new world I imagined, but hey. And carriers right now being prepared against the Vikings, although we need to remember, just a question, is carrier armored? I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah, so Vikings do bonus damage against carriers, and also we need to remember bonus damage against Void Race. This is why you don't play too much Void Race against Terran, and very, very interesting endgame army. A small force of Zealots, not so small anymore, but then we have a lot of Archons and Carriers. So no longer Tempests. I think Tempests are kinda in an awkward spot right now. They have lost the splash damage they had, and people are still trying to figure out what to do with the new Tempest.
Yeah, I think they work really well as a support unit in a lot of situations.
But anyway...
battle.
Oh, EMPs go down on the Archons, and Archons are critical to go for the Vikings. Vikings escape, and they don't leave even a single carrier behind. Not even a single Protoss unit will remain, except these Free Stalkers that they are cowards. They run away. Yes, they can run away because unlike Zealots, they will not be teleported back to IR. They will just fall apart, and that's not very good for their karma.
Absolutely not. In the meantime, Daisy's used this attack to absolutely secure the entire side of the map. So GoOdy has not been able to mine at this 5th base very well at all. So it's been 4 base against 5 base for quite some time. Fortunately for GoOdy, mech is being really cost efficient, and he's controlling it really well.
Yeah, it's good, you know, we kinda expect that from the Panzer Commander.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Achtung, Panzer! A random fact, my great-grandmother has lived through the Second World War, and my great-grandfather has also lived through the Second World War, and he also has been fighting on the front. So, so yeah. That's when the random fact story ends.
and then you found $5. You know, that's how you wrap those up. And then I found $5. Oh, okay, cool. Moving on. The Thor, and this is actually something that I've been trying to deal with on the ladder so much. What do you do against a Terran player that builds this many Thors?
You can build mass immortals, but they get so easily cancelled, and with EMPs. Without the shields, they are just useless.
Yeah, Ghosts and Thors, so strong.
Yeah, Ghosts and Thors,
he's gonna take this base out. The Tempests are here to rain the siege fire down. We also have a couple of carriers, so...
Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't see this happening. I mean, the Thors are just obliterating everything. There's a huge bunch of Vikings that deals with everything that flies. There has been even an actual fly caught by a bullet there that we didn't notice, but that's
not
it.
something you see very often. Vikings landing on top of Immortals and then killing them. Seems that they've been taking lessons from the Viking of the Farthest One preview.
See how much damage that trailer has caused? Now Vikings landing, the new Terran is going to be imbalanced due to the fact that people will just land the Vikings more often. That trailer was a reminder. Hey guys, you have been bitching for so long that you're underpowered. Why don't you try this? That's what trailers do. And by the way, Blizzard is one of the best companies to make trailers.
Yeah, they have incredible graphics. I can't wait to play the campaign and watch all the cutscenes. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
By the way, I'm going to do a show about the campaign during the launch night. One day after, we'll be having this huge tournament, big-ass tournament for $1,000 prize pool for the freshly baked Heart of the Swarm players, but during the night time where the game launches, we'll be having a launch day night where you will also be able to win Heart of the Swarm copies if you watch us while we play through the campaign. Now, Daisy trying to counter this with a couple of DTs. Not sure that's going to work though. At this point in the game, the Terran just has so much scans in his back pocket. He can just throw them one way and the other, and he doesn't even need to pay attention to that.
Yeah, the supplies are 55 to 196.
Yeah.
You know, via 31 probes to 40 probes. 15 Thors against 3 Immortals. It's just, I feel like the numbers are slightly against Daisy in this situation.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite difficult to pull something out here.
Your diplomatic kung fu again on spot, you know. When I pick up this army supply bar, I can barely see any red in it. This is
it's almost all purple, isn't it?
Yeah, this is how far Daisy is behind, although still fighting, still trying, but for each Thor he kills, you know, GoOdy is like a Hydra. For each head you cut off, there are 2 more growing out of his spine, and this is the true power of playing mech. Very well done by GoOdy, a very methodical player, although you need to remember that if you want to play mech, you better have 3 or 4 bases at least. And we have a GG, and GoOdy takes up the first game in the semi-final. We'll be moving on to the second game quite shortly, so I think the game has left enough space for the 2 of us to sum up what has happened. So right now we can jump straight into a short commercial break, and we'll be back with you in a second with the second game. By the way, guys, a reminder, if you want to win a copy of Heart of the Swarm, we'll be having one of you each month specifically for the people who leave us feedback on Team Liquid, on Reddit, wherever you find threads about what we do. Leave a comment, leave a feedback, let us know what you think, let us know how much you love us, let us know how much you hate us, although in a diplomatic way, and then you join the pool of people among which we will draw one copy of Heart of the Swarm each month, just to encourage your opinions to be shared. Dum 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 dum. Jack, you with me?
I am here.
Okay, so we're waiting for the invite to the second game. Do you have GoOdy somewhere on the chat, my dear admin? Because
Yes, I need them. I've been invited and I will send you an invite. Or you can just...
Yeah, I will join after you. Okay. Join the game. Awesome. So, I'm not sure how about you guys, but I'm pretty hyped about how good these games are becoming. I mean, each week we have even better and better tournament here at the Egalisk TV. I hope you love it. I certainly love it myself. It's even better and better casting with the Jack attack every week. I think we're becoming quite a nice co-casting couple, if I can say that.
I think you can. I think we're quite a nice couple.
We would be the best gay couple out there, mate.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I've known some pretty awesome gay couples that we'd have to rival against.
Can you cook?
Oh, I can cook like a boss.
Oh yeah.
Excellent cook.
That's even better because I can cook like a boss as well.
My wife is
my wife is terrible at cooking. I can say that to all 200 people that are watching this right now. My wife is terrible in kitchen, and she just said, "Yeah, well." She shrugged and said, I don't care. I don't give a damn." Yeah, there are other reasons why I'm with my wife. So yeah, cooking. Back to cooking itself. At this Saturday, I'll be cooking a dinner for around 6 people. So what are your favorite dishes, mate? Since we are at the start of the game.
I really like soups. I like making different kinds of soups. Potato lentil stew is probably my my current favorite as far as soups are concerned.
All right.
Definitely a bit gaseous, but quite delicious.
Yeah. I know one more gaseous soup that you can make, and I'm actually very good at doing it. It's a very old recipe from traditional Polish kitchen. It's an onion soup, and most onion soups are just you know, they are not very sophisticated. With this one, it takes at least 4 or 5 hours of active work to get it done, and there are lots of steps involved, but every single person that has tried that soup says, "Oh my god, this is the best onion soup I have ever in my life." And not because people are being polite with me, because they know I'm an arrogant bastard, so they don't care. They have been saying that because they really enjoy the damn soup.
Well, you know, definitely have to check out some traditional Polish onions. I've only had French onion soup, so.
Oh my god, my wife has just backstabbed me on the chat. She said, "As long as Yegwen is doing the cooking, I don't really give a shit." Touche! And we gave them the right to vote.
So we've got the usual kind of stuff going down, gateway in the core for Daisy, and right into the factory for GoOdy. Looks like some reactored Hellion action, very likely to be happening. What do you say?
That's most likely to happen, even though I'm still trying to make up my mind. Is it best to have the first factory built in your own base, or would it be even better to start off every single factory around your opponent's base as a proxy? Because Widow Mines, maybe people are not in that mindset already, yet, but I think that Widow Mines are so strong that it's even very efficient right now to do a proxy factory, whatever you're doing.
I haven't had the opportunity to watch too many of GoOdy's games, but is he not very much of a risk taker? Do we see him proxy at all?
Again, your diplomacy, spot on. Not a very much risk taker. I need to learn that someday, you know. You'll be my Master Miyagi.
That sounds good.
Yeah. You'll teach me the way of the crane. I think, was that how they called it?
Karate Kid, yeah.
Yeah, in Karate Kid, yeah. But GoOdy going for some good old-fashioned Hellion harassment, and we'll see how much damage that can deal. There's a Stalker already. And there's a Zealot that tried to stand in the way of the Hellions, but they just, you know, circled around him. And Probes right now pulling back. Daisy, oh, I'm not sure I like this, but it did work. Ooh,
yep, I think if you get the right position when you have Probes against Hellions, it works really well. And I think that's the reaction that some of the players that we've been casting, that we've seen so far.
You know what this is? This is a 4-gate, by the way.
Thing.
This is a 4-gate, my good friend. 4-gate.
It's a 4-gate versus Widow Mines. We're gonna have to see how this turns out.
It's a 4-gate without the Mothership Core. Not so good, to be honest. And Widow Mines being
caught. Mothership Core hasn't even been built.
Well, the Widow Mines has been destroyed around the middle of the map, and right now GoOdy may not have enough things to defend this with. Well, this will be a very entertaining game, one way or the other.
Yeah, and he warped in he warped in 4 Stalkers over at his opponent's base, so he can't use those to defend right now. One Hellion's going to get through, but it looks like Daisy's going to be okay, and then he's going to start moving out onto the offensive against GoOdy's natural. This looks like it's going to have to be a cancel.
Oh, Oh, yeah, and is there a Widow Mine? Yes, there is, but of course Daisy will be smarter than that. He will probably send one Zealot up front, or two Zealots. Or why would he bother even? So this Widow Mines, yeah, destroys one Zealot, but the rest hangs there, and a cancel on the expansion. Very good. 4-gate, kinda strong right now, although the Mothership core is definitely missing.
Yeah, so he's going to get a lot of SCV kills here. He delayed the expansion, and he's building probes at home, so he looks like
he hasn't lost
he's going to transition out of this.
Have
Really?
you seen that micro? Yeah, he has. Well, yeah, the Zealots have chewed up all the damage. Sorry, soaked up, not chewed up. They don't chew up damage. They are not that hardcore. But now Stalkers are probably going to be destroyed. Well, one of them, and Daisy being extra efficient with this push.
Been 13 workers killed so far. I mean, that alone is worth this push.
Still not having this Mothership core, questionable, but I'm saying he's doing a pretty good job without it. And he just keeps saving his own Stalkers, and now sends one Zealot to soak up the Widow Mine damage, and then he will send another one, and that way his Stalkers don't get destroyed so easily. Well, the question is, will he have enough to keep this going? Because 4-gate has this, you know, it's a dual blade. How you call that? Dual blade? The
double-sided.
Double-sided sword. Thank you very much. Yeah. So it's a double-sided sword, and if you don't have enough to kill off the opponent, he will most likely kill you off later on. Now let's take a look at the units. We have 14 SCVs left for the Terran, so actually, you know, GoOdy is not in a great spot, but he has been able to secure an expansion, and Daisy right now will not have, for a long while, enough minerals or forces around the map.
Yeah, and this Widow Mine has been sitting here preventing the expansion from Daisy. I feel like Daisy may have been going for an expansion because midway through that push, Daisy started building probes again, but couldn't take expansion. No detection out right now. Chrono boosting out the Observer.
And a Widow Mine plus Hellion drop on its way. Hellions.
Wow.
So as soon as a Hellion transforms to a Hellbat, it takes up more space in the Medivac. That's I just wonder how it works in reality. Yeah, do they stack Hellions one on each other? You know, one on top of each other, when they are Hellions, and where the Hellbats they don't fit. Now Daisy will be able to take that expansion, and he has detection, so he should be pretty safe, although Widow Mines can still do a pretty bad damage to the mineral line. Will he be quick enough? Yes, he is. Daisy with stunning and stellar reflexes.
So many probes are dying here. They're all clumped up, and they're going to take lots of hits here. The Widow Mines get focused down, but while the Widow Mines were getting killed off, so many workers were killed, and now it is 22 to 19 workers killed, so things have evened out a little bit.
In that single drop, GoOdy was able to even the game out. And there's a second drop, now Medivac filled with Marines, and they are smarter than the last game. They know they are not going for the Navi planet, they are not going to... I'm not sure how the planet is called, I'm though pretty sure that the people were called Navi.
Yep.
Also pretty sure it was not Naboo.
Naboo, slightly different.
Yeah, slightly different. And when I thought Naboo, I just have the urge of watching Star Wars. That's how this Star Wars universe is pretty strong with me.
Yeah. You might even say that the Force is pretty strong with you. You could maybe even say that.
Yeah, depends what I have for dinner, you know.
yeah. If you had your Wheaties or not.
Yeah. And Daisy's still playing on 4 gates. He cannot afford for pretty much anything else except this Stargate, and
it's two Void Rays.
It's a cool move though, and he uses the charge on the Void Rays, and the Siege Tank will go down so quickly. Oh my god! But then the Stalkers
he's got to raise up his supply depots.
He has suffered so much damage again. Another Siege Tank down, and
it looks like he's gonna break through here.
But if
I
we
don't know if
take a
there's anything
look,
GoOdy can do about this.
yeah, if we take a look at the other side of the map, GoOdy is pretty bad about this too. He's pretty angry. You're messing with my karma, man, and he's destroying the main of Daisy as well. So we have a base trade scenario. Now, if Daisy, just thinking ahead, if Daisy manages to save these Void Rays, he will be able to destroy whatever building that the Terran decides to lift up. So it's actually pretty good to have. The question is, will he have... Oh, how lovely. It has been a Valentine's Day yesterday, and he has managed to save 2 probes, and 1 is even carrying minerals. Now there's a huge army of GoOdy's SCVs trying to make their way to Daisy's base, but besides that, well, it's a kind of an awkward spot, and I would say Daisy is in a stronger position right now just because he has these Void Rays.
Yeah, I mean, and the other issue that Daisy has, though, is that there is no money for Daisy at all. Daisy can't build an assimilator even. So the buildings that Daisy has now are all that he's going to have for the rest of the game. The army that he has now is the army that he's going to have for the rest of the game. It's being revealed, whereas GoOdy can rebuild here, and he's going to land his orbital command. This is going to be a literal base trade. He's going to trade bases with the Protoss players, say, I will take this base that you first had, and you will take this base that I first had, and we'll see how things go. But
and Daisy very smartly leaves a single Zealot behind, and thus he's able to take down the supply depots. All these structures in Terran's base are kind of tied up to the ground, and now will have the major engagement. And GoOdy's trying to build bunkers. Will that be enough though? Oh, he has a very sweet cancel, forcing a cancel. Now he needs to be careful because Void Rays are not so strong against Marines, so this will be a heavy battle. Oh, and he even has a Guardian Shield that is so huge. He needs to focus down Marines as fast as possible. That is his last hope, and the last hope does not die in this case. The bunker is down, and we have GG from GoOdy. What an exciting game. Yeah, well played indeed.
That was so intense. It was like us double contained. Both players weren't allowing the other player to expand for like the entire time.
Yeah. Wow. So pretty cool, guys. I don't know how about you, but pretty damn cool. So here you go, Daisy. You also can have this Jägerist TV seal of approval. You have just been marked as the approved player to be playing Heart of the Swarm. How you feel about that? Yeah, so the third game will be right up. I wonder what the map is going to be. That's still a mystery to us. It's Heart of the Swarm, so the map picking tendencies have changed a lot, and we're waiting for the game to be hosted. We'll see then. In the meanwhile, guys, I suggest we go for a very short commercial break, so don't go anywhere. I hope, well, I'm quite sure, I'm not hoping, I'm quite sure there will be even more awesome, great games coming right up. By the way, guys, gentle reminder, if you like this show, we'll be having even more and more and more of it every single week. except where Heart of the Swarm beta goes down for the cooldown period before the launch of the Heart of the Swarm itself. But anyway, I strongly encourage you to subscribe to our channel. We intend to do more StarCraft every single week. Every single day, every single year. That's about to happen, and that's pretty huge. So subscribe right now. Also, if you're one of our viewers, you have a chance to win one of the Heart of the Swarm copies itself when the game launches. What you need to do is to go to teamliquid.net, find one of our threads. I'm pretty sure that someone will link one right now at the chat. And if you leave a comment, leave your feedback, let us know what you think. It's awesome enough to win a Heart of the Swarm copy. We'll have one each month for you. But then let's indulge ourselves with the game that we have upon us right now. It is ESC Daisy, spawning as the red Protoss in the bottom left corner.
And in the top right hand corner of our screen, we have the goodest there's ever been, ESC GoOdy.
I'm good enough with English to know that has been... you have just ripped the grammar open, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, it's intentional. Yeah. I know my grammar.
Now do you? Yeah.
Sometimes. It gets confusing occasionally.
It does. Well, try Polish. Polish grammar is so difficult. And by the way, a funny story from where I was a kid. I have always found it extra hard to learn all the grammar rules that apply to Polish. My language is pretty strong, I would say, compared to the average. But I always had trouble remembering all the rule sets that were about how to construct sentences, what forms of words you should use, and all of that. So at one day when I had my first English class in my life, I saw the rules and I have asked the teacher how much more is there, and he said, well, not much more. There are 12 times, so there are 12 time tenses, and that's pretty much it. I said, wow, this is so simple. This will be my second language. And as I decided, thus I have done, and here I am casting for you guys. So hope you enjoy, and hope my English teacher was right. Though I have actually learned how to speak and read English while playing games. That has to be said. So playing games, you know, if you're into languages, one of the best things you can do if you play games in English. But then we have a quick expansion from the Protoss after one gate core. Now from the Terran player here, goody goodness, he is doing a factory, which is not all that surprising considering his long history and his affliction for the factories.
Yeah, so Daisy able to get an Nexus out nice and early right after the gas, so that way taking advantage of the long map, long rush distance, probably not going to see any sort of big attack from GoOdy anytime soon.
And on this map you can spawn at any one of these spots, so it's quite difficult to scout your enemy, and I think this is why Daisy is taking advantage of it. Well, it's the odds are that his opponent will not see him right away. And also, what's worth mentioning is that he didn't scout himself, and the reason for that is the first Marine arrived at this map. The first Marine is out before you manage to reach your opponent, and that's pretty huge. This is why players are, as a rule of thumb, not scouting early in the game, because it's too late anyway.
Yeah, it's not worth scouting if you're not going to be able to get any information out of it, so saving that extra mining time.
Yeah, and Daisy has got all the information he needs by capturing this Zelnaga tower, which for some reason has a Protoss banner hanging over it. I don't know why, and it didn't change for Terran, but...
Well, I mean, I think the issue here is that this is a Protoss map. This is this is owned by the Protoss, so I mean, we might see some home field advantage here for Daisy, as the planet they're playing on currently is a Protoss planet, as noticed by this flag here.
Is there any background to that, or is it just it?
No. Oh no, I'm making this all up. I mean, that's what I do.
I thought you had read some fancy article on Wikipedia about this map and said, "Oh, I'm going to impress every single lady that's watching us." That's probably only my wife, with my huge and extensive knowledge. Now, yeah.
No, I mean, impress wasn't what I was going for. Improvise, so very close.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, just very easily confused. You know, they start
But a
with
general
imps,
rule of thumb, I feel that when men are trying to impress women, is they in most cases just improvise. So you haven't been far off.
No, not far off at all.
Okay, so we have a Widowmine plus Hellion drop on its way, and yeah, they are loaded in the Medivac, stacked one at each other's head, so they fit
Stalkers
together.
are ready.
Yeah, stalkers are ready, although, is there any detection whatsoever here? No. The observer is on its way, and oh my god, the workers are in a line, and this line has not worked so well for Daisy. But
Really
then,
nice building placement here. You used the forge and the warp gate to trap the Hellions so they couldn't keep running and finish when that went off.
by the way, there's a second run by at the natural, but then he was able to defend that with a mothership core and a cannon he has there.
14 workers killed. Very much worth it at this point in time. Really crushing the economy of Daisy early on.
Oh, and these widow mines still not taken care of. Oh, I wouldn't say that was a stellar example of play, and by this my diplomacy skill has increased by 1.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Gold star for you.
Yeah.
You get the gold star in diplomacy for the day.
I think something has just flashed my eyesight through my eyesight. I saw something like achievement unlocked, the beginning of diplomacy career.
Yeah, so we got more mech. It looks like coming out of GoOdy. So, will Daisy find an answer to that giant Thor composition that GoOdy is very likely going for again?
Yeah, you're exactly right. GoOdy now trying to analyze his style of playing between Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm. I feel that he's much more prone to do drops that he has been before. In Wings of Liberty, he has been a player that was known to just stick to his own bases and not stick anything out until he is maxed. He has a bunch of force, and yeah, it's quite difficult to stop him then. But now he's doing a lot of drops with Hellions, with Widow Mines, and that's all goody goodness.
Yeah, and the drop gets spotted, unfortunately, by an observer on the way out, and GoOdy's not going to be able to get anything done with it right now. He's going to hang out, perhaps, by this fountain? No, he leaves the fountain. It's not interesting to him at all, and he will perhaps go home.
Yeah.
Hellions moving out across the map, trying to get some more harassment done. There's not a whole lot of defense up here in front.
Well, yeah, but I feel that the timing of this all was kinda misfitted, because normally you would like the Hellions to hit at exactly the same time that the drop does, and that's something that GoOdy has already executed perfectly in a couple of minutes recently. But now he's just trying to scout, I guess, with this this group of Hellions. Nothing big, nothing major.
Yep, just taking a count on the number of bases his opponents have.
Oh, he's going for a couple of Zealots kill.
Knowing that, knowing the number of bases that your opponent has is one of the most important things to scout for to start with.
Yeah, and for those of you guys who are just starting your adventure with Starcraft, you need to know that exactly like Jack said, when you are learning how to scout, the first thing you need to pay attention to is when your opponent takes additional bases, and you can just compare that with the time you're taking your base, and if he took his quicker than you did yours, then you can expect that, okay, I'm able to lay down some aggression on him. If he took it later on, then you may think, okay, I probably should play more defensively. So scouting the number of bases is definitely one of the things you should start with when considering scouting.
Absolutely. These pair of twin stalkers are going to come over here and capture the watchtower for themselves.
Yeah, they have nice long legs. They're exactly the twins, the type of the twins we like.
I mean, you know, if you know, the length of leg is very important to you on the stalker, then these stalkers will make you very happy as they have long legs. The short-legged stalker, if that is your preference, they're currently not on this map at all. Going to probably have to go to Tal'Darim Altar to find any of those. And a Dark Shrine coming down from Daisy while getting the charge, so you might see some charge lot Archon action. Maybe some more of that very immortal heavy play we saw late game last time.
That's actually good. Now, I get this feeling that this game will go nearly exactly as the game number 1. While Daisy tries to counter GoOdy's play with Dark Templars, GoOdy is a very methodical player, and he already has turrets in the main paths that the Dark Templars may choose to stride upon, and by doing that, he just kind of blind counters any Dark Templar play that Daisy can do, and he has enough scans. He can afford a lot of scans around his army, so he will not be losing many units, and it looks kind of strong. GoOdy right now meching up, and Daisy is trying to figure out how to play against this. I would say
it's a really killer push. This is a huge army coming in here. I don't know how he's going to defend against it.
Oh, and also the Immortal is just losing so much of his shields due to the fact that Hellions shoot so quickly, or should I say Hellbats. And GoOdy with a superior position, he even moves to the high ground, and right now the Protoss will be having difficulty defending this push. Oh, doing a nice focus on the siege tanks, but there are just too many of them. Some of them are placed uphill, and Daisy probably is going to lose this base anyway. Dark Templars not noticed for now. No, another scan goes down. They try to run away. Not a very smart choice considering the fact that the siege tanks have a pretty long range. And another group of Hellions. Well, Daisy, what does he have here? How does he defend? And the answer to that is probably with difficulty.
Probably with difficulty. Usually that would be the counter. What are you going to use? With difficulty, I'll be difficulty this game.
I'm going to change your difficulty to easy.
I will change the game speed, and I will change the difficulty. That is how I will defend this attack.
I think we can see a GG coming right up.
We definitely can.
Yeah, there is not even a single thing on the map except this observer, and if Daisy manages to win a game with an observer, I would be very impressed. Yeah, still going for this, you know, trying to defend the Jericho, and he managed to clear out all the Hellbats, nearly all the Hellbats, but I think that he has suffered too many losses. And
yeah, I mean, good job on Daisy for clearing that up and surviving, but I mean, there's only another gigantic mech push on its way at this point.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. You see there's a lot of freshly painted siege tanks with all of the tents in their armor fixed. We have a Widow Mine that's leading the march, and that's actually something that I imagine people will be more microing with. If you have Widow Mines in your army, your opponent will be able to expect them to be at the front, and it may actually be a technique to pick up the Widow Mines while the army is on the move, so to say.
Is that because the Widow Mine is the faster unit?
Yes, it is.
It is the faster unit.
It has ADHD, and it's how does it translate? What is it an acronym of? Is it advanced?
ADHD is
anyway, let's talk about that later. You know, Daisy is just getting obliterated right now. We have all sorts of explosions in his base, and this is past the point where he can control that. Although he abuses the fact that Terran has nothing that shoots up except the Widow Mines, which will explode right into the mothership's face quite soon, and boom! There goes the last hope of Daisy defending this. A couple of Immortals still trying to hold the ground, but I'm not sure how long can we carry on without the income from the natural base.
That's not going to be long. +3 armor is kicking in at this point in time. He's going to be able to do pretty well against these Hellbats alone, but this massive siege tanks is pretty much unbreakable, one might say. You could say that Daisy has a smaller chance of winning this game than GoOdy at this point. Possible.
Yeah.
That is true.
Widow mines get left behind. GoOdy throwing a lot of additional scans here just to check for any sort of DTs, but there are none. He is just getting overcautious and he's just throwing scans left and right. At this point, GoOdy is wondering where are his ninja bases, man. How did he manage to keep his foot in this game? It's not possible. It's unreal. I have destroyed his natural, his third. I have taken him apart. How does he stay alive? God damn it.
Yeah, it must be what he's thinking at this point in time. If I had to make a guess, I don't know. He doesn't want to charge up the ramp against 4 Zealots and 5 Immortals, I suppose. I don't know. I mean, sitting in Daisy shoes right now, you have 1 mineral patch left that has 75 minerals on it.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? You know.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we come for you?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on in the mind of Daisy right now. Just like, well, the police are here, and they're here to arrest me. They have a warrant. What am I going to do? So I'll just keep mining minerals and hope that they go away.
I think if police comes for you, mining more minerals may not be the best thing to do.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
I want to stop mining the minerals. Like, I don't even know where these minerals came from. I don't.
Yeah, officer, sorry.
These aren't even mine.
Yeah. Someone has dropped them today here, and they are not mine. So anyway, the last battle here in the middle ground of GSL Whirlwind, and the army of Daisy just gets surrounded. So many Hellbats, so many siege tanks, and even a supporting force of 3 force. And that even rhymes. This is how good GoOdy is. And we have GG. Yeah, such a long anticipated GG. After all, we have it now. Daisy, a very persistent player. I wonder what was going through his mind. I mean, at the point where he has lost his mineral, what was he thinking about the potential chances of winning that game? Because if you stay in that game so long, then you still need to have hope. I mean, there still needs to be some hope left in you to be able to say, okay, I have this. I'm going to win this.
I think that he was thinking about $25.
Oh yeah.
But if I figure out a way to win this, I get $25. Like, how can I do that? Couldn't figure it out. Ended up having to GG at the end.
Yeah, we're waiting for one more game. We'll be having a second semi-final right away, guys. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with you after our short commercial break. Don't go anywhere.